Bonjour tout le monde. Good morning. Monday morning again here at St. Peter's, and it's the first time we would normally be in the hall together, all sat around our Christmas tree in the hall. And actually this year we know we can't do that, but let's just imagine that we are. And here's our Christmas tree, beautifully decorated in the hall by our Year 5 Shine team and some other pupils. So let's imagine we are all sat around our Christmas tree, and here's our Christmas tree sat in the corner there. And if you do get an opportunity to go into the hall this week, take a good look at it. I know Mr. Lane is going to be taking some of your photographs this week, so if you do get a chance to go into the hall, take a good look at our tree. And thank you so much to the Year 5 children who spent time on Friday last week putting that tree up. Here's some pictures of them. Now we've got Louisa and Dylan and Miss Bond and some of the other Year 5 children there working hard putting our Christmas tree up. There's Ava hanging up some of the decorations with her Shine Team jumper on, so thank you, Ava. And Dylan again proudly wearing his Shine Team jumper, again putting some more decorations up on our tree in the hall. And there's Mrs. Rawlinson and Miss Bond and the Year 5 team who worked really hard to put that tree up. And actually there's trees all over school. I think they got some other elves to help them, because there's a tree in Key Stage 1, there's a tree in Key Stage 2, there's trees in the entrance area. School is really beginning to feel lovely and Christmassy, and it's a shame we can't all be there in the hall together, but we are all together at these Monday morning assemblies, all sharing them together at the same time and thinking about the same things. So let's imagine we are sat around our Christmas tree in the hall sharing our assembly this morning. So last week we changed our theme, didn't we? And I know a lot of you are still thinking about team, which is absolutely fantastic. We've really created a team spirit here at St. Peter's. Everywhere I go, people are still telling me, Mrs. Williams, are a great big team, T-E-A-M. It's fantastic. It's like I'm a celebrity walking around school and you're all shouting T-E-A-M at me, which is really lovely to see. But remember, it's Advent now, and last week we changed our theme and we started to think about Advent promises. We started to think about how we could help other people, and how Advent is a time where we look to serve others, and rather than just take for ourselves and open our Advent calendars and think about all the wonderful things that we are receiving, we started to think about Advent being a time of giving, a time of preparation, a time of thinking about when Jesus is going to came on our earth, and a time how we can help other people, not just be self-serving, but serving of others, being selfless. We talk a lot about that at St. Peter's, not about asking about what we want, but what we can do for other people. And a lot of you made promises last week, and those promises are hung on Advent trees around school, and they're hung on the Advent tree in the entrance hall. Lots of you made fantastic promises. I just hope you've all managed to keep them, because one of the things about promises is about we are making a commitment, not a commitment to others, but a commitment to ourselves to stay and stick to that promise. So when we make a promise, people often think, oh, we're promising other people that we'll do other things. And yes, we are, but actually that promise sits with us. A promise is a commitment to ourselves, a commitment to say, I promise I will do this. And if I don't, I'm letting myself down. We need to stick to the promises that we've made. So I wanted to spend just a few minutes. I'm going to switch off. I'm going to give you some reflection time. And I want you to spend just a few minutes thinking about the promises that you made last week. We promised to help around our school. Lots of people saying they're going to open doors, pick up litter, share their equipment. Lovely promises. But did you keep them? Have you stuck to them? So I'm going to give you 5 minutes, well, less than 5 minutes, a couple of minutes of reflection time now. And I want you to simply think about, did I keep my promises? were going to do. Because we all know the story of the boy who cried wolf, don't we? We know the story of what happens if we're not sincere, if we don't do the right thing, if we don't tell the truth, if we don't commit to do what we say we're going to do. The boy who cried wolf is about a boy who made things up, who said things that were just not true. And I hope when you made your promises last week, you weren't saying things that were just not true, that you were just not committed to. I hope you really meant the promises that you made. Let's just remind ourselves of the boy who cried wolf and what happened in the story. So there was once a boy who looked after sheep. There they are, there he is, the boy looking after the sheep. But the boy was bored. One day he played a trick on the villagers. The boy cried out that there was a wolf attacking his sheep, even though there wasn't. Well, there's no wolf attacking the sheep. The sheep are all happy, they're eating the grass. But he's shouting, "Wolf, wolf!" And of course the wolf would attack the sheep and eat them, so that's a really, really dangerous thing if there is a wolf near the sheep. So the villagers, they came up the hill, running up the hill to save the sheep. But when they got there was no wolf. And the boy laughed at them. "You must not tell lies," said the villagers. And they went back to the village. Now we all know why it's important that he mustn't tell lies. He has to tell the truth. He has to say what really is happening so that they can get help. He has to commit to doing the right thing, which here at St. Peter's we know it's important to do the right thing. But soon the boy was bored again. He shouted, "Wolf, wolf!" The villagers rushed up the hill to save the sheep. But when they got there was no wolf again. And the boy laughed at them again. Look at the villagers there, they're all a little bit even more angry this time, aren't they? Because they've been tricked, they've been duped twice. And that's what I'm thinking about, the promises that you made. I hope you haven't tricked me. I hope you haven't promised me that you are going to do all these things, and actually, when it comes to it, you're not really. You just wrote them down. They were just empty words. I hope your promises mean something to me, and you really are promising to do all those things. Let's see. "You must not tell lies," shouted the villagers. And they went back down to the village. So they've given him a second chance, haven't they? They came up and said, "But you really, really mustn't tell lies." Look at his face. I hope he's thinking to himself, I won't do that again. But later that day, a wolf, there he is, look, a wolf really did come into the field chasing the sheep. The boy shouted and shouted, "Wolf, wolf!" But this time no one came to help, and the wolf ate all the sheep. Why did nobody come to help? Well, nobody came to help because they couldn't trust what this little boy was saying. They couldn't trust that he was telling the truth, because twice he'd said he was going to do something and hadn't done it. Twice he'd let them down. So actually it's important to always tell the truth, so that if you're going to make a promise, you've got to stick to it, and it's got to mean something. It's got to have commitment behind it. The moral of the story is, if you tell lies, people won't believe you when you do tell the truth. So in your reflections just before, did you stick to your promises? Did you, the commitments that you made to me and to the school, but most importantly to yourself, did you stick to them? And if you didn't, think about why you didn't. And if you did, very well done. You've proven that you are able to stick to your promises. So let's think now about the promises that we're going to make this week. Okay, so the promises we're going to make this week. Last week we made promises about our school and how we're going to make our school a better place and how we could be of service around our school. Remember, we talked about Advent being a perfect time to be of service to others, and we wrote a list of the ways we could be of service at school. Lots and lots of really good ideas. But this week I want us to think about how we can be of service at home or with our families. I want you to think about the times when you're at home. Think about the times when you're with your family. And is there an opportunity where you could help somebody else, where you could help mum, where you could help dad, where you could help brothers, where you could help sisters? Rather than thinking what can they do for me, you think about what can you do for them in this really, really busy time in the lead up to Christmas. So, just a thought, maybe at meal times. How could you be helpful at home when it's time for you to eat? So instead of asking what you want, maybe asking what your parents are able to provide. Accept what you're given. Maybe think about helping to prepare it. What could you do? What could you do to help prepare that meal? Could you help in any way at all? It's a bit posh, this PowerPoint. It says, could you stack the dishwasher after the meal? I don't have a dishwasher at my house. We just have a sink and a washing up bowl and some fairy liquid. But could you maybe wash up? Could you help stack the dishwasher if you're one of the people that does have a dishwasher at your house? Could you help your brother or sister with their homework? Lots of ways where at home you could help. Could you tidy your bedroom? Could you say yes instead of saying no? That's a really big one for lots of families. Lots of children will say, oh, it's dinner time, and you will say, in a minute, and that minute just goes on and on and on forever, and you don't actually ever come down. Could you start to say, yes, I'm on my way? Could you help make life really easy for your parents at home, for your grandparents, for people who look after you? Could you give them the best Christmas present ever by making yourself be of service to them and making their life easier? I'm going to give you just another minute of reflection time now. Just think about some of the ways that you could be helpful at home. What could you do? Maybe write them down as a class. Ask your teacher just to write them down on the whiteboard, put some ideas together. I'm going to give you 1-2 minutes of reflection time just to think about how you could help at home. With your family that you can do to serve them, to help them, to make Advent a really special family time together, so that we're not arguing and we're not falling out at this very stressful time, but we're actually helping each other and we're making promises to commit to making the world a better place through our service. because remember, the promises, it says here, the promises will make such a difference to the people you spend time with. And that's the main purpose of doing it, to make a difference to their lives, to help them and to make the world a better place. However, the bonus in doing that is if you do serve others and you do help other people, they will also have a wonderful effect on you. So you will start to feel good about yourself as well, because actually helping other people helps us too to feel good and feel proud of what we do. So it's important that if you make a promise, you stick to it, and you'll feel proud of yourself for doing that. And I want us to now finish our assembly with a prayer. And normally we'll be sat round our Christmas tree. So here we are, here's our Christmas tree in the hall, and let's imagine ourselves all sat round it together and saying a combined prayer together. So hands together, eyes closed. Lord Jesus, at this Advent time, we ask you to be with us and to help us to stick to our promises. In those times when we're finding it a little bit hard and we want to go off and do our own thing, help us to give us the strength to stay together and to keep our promises, to serve those in our school to make school a better place, and to serve those at home and in our family so that our homes can be a better place. Help us to keep to our promises and help us to continue to shine, as our school motto says, as a beacon in society. Amen. Okay, so as we go off into our classrooms and off into another week of fantastic learning, it's Christmas dinner day this week, Christmas jumper day on Friday, so we have a fantastic day and a fantastic week, and as I see you around school, please remember to keep being that wonderful team that you are, but also talk to me about the promises that you are making, the Advent promises that you are committing to make our school and our world a better place. And off you go now to, of course, to learn, sparkle and shine, but most importantly at this moment in time, shine. Shine like a beacon, shine like Jesus did, so that we are showing the world what a brilliant place it is, and we are making the world a better place with our contributions to it and the promises that we're making at this Advent time. So have a fantastic week, and I will see you all around school. Well done.